that word recession. Nobody really likes to hear it. But I have the immediate past president of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. He's a professor of economics for Babcock University. He's here with me, Professor Segun Ajibola. Prof, thank you very much. It's great to have you join us this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Prof, I'm going to start this way. All of these interventions by the central bank, just few days, it was 50 billion naira for SMEs and all of that. And yesterday, a 1.1 trillion naira again has been pushed into the economy, all to try and ease this biting effect of coronavirus. How does this come to you, sir?
Our economy and the global economy, both are definitely undergoing some stress at the moment. It's unfortunate that the coronavirus is ravaging almost all parts of the globe as of today. And it's starting from an economy that the world is gradually depending on, almost exclusively for some things, including our own Nigerian economy. Then one will want to ask, what happens to bilateral, multilateral relations as of today? It signals one thing, that the Chinese economy has overwhelming influence
Across
the globe. You will be surprised the level of dependency of our local economy on Chinese economy as of today. Basic raw materials, some finished products, fabricated equipment here and there, all coming from China, and our people are crying outside there. So it's a major challenge. CBN has taken very bold steps in saying that at the moment there will be need for funding on the one hand, there will be need for some kind of financial support on the other, to get some basic items to continue to roll in so that we keep the industry working, we keep the small-scale industrialists in business, and so on and so forth. But the question arises, if COVID-19 extends to the next couple of weeks, I don't know if the economy, if the global economy will not be shut down completely. So, we pray that doesn't happen.
we really pray it doesn't.
We pray it doesn't happen. Because if as of today, we are saying we cannot receive visitors from these countries, can we receive their products? If we are saying that these economies that provide us with these basic items, including basic necessities, food and pharmaceutical products and so on and so forth, they are comatose. What does that spell for the Nigerian economy? It's quite worrisome. So funding is one thing, for us to have that funding there through this intervention fund. On the other side is for us to be able to interact with these economies, the Chinese economy, the European economies, and so on and so forth, and be able to continue with our bilateral and multilateral relations. So, if that is under severe stress, how do we move forward in a time like this?
Okay, talking about how we'll move forward. Before we get to how we'll move forward, another thing I want you to touch on, Prof, is the reduction in the price of fuel. We were expecting this because when there's a drop in price of crude, the landing cost and all of that is a little bit tweaked. There's a reduction one way or the other, and we have to pay less. Apart from a little bit of increase in purchasing power of maybe those of us buying fuel, what effect do you see this having, talking about cushioning this, all of this effect of COVID-19?
Sincerely speaking, I cannot see much impact the reduction will have. First, I don't know how the GMD of NNPC arrive at the arithmetics. So to arrive at 125 naira, well, maybe we just say that is a relief that has come to Nigerians, not based on any scientific computation or arithmetic. Having said that, it still signals the problem we have in our domestic economy. Why should we continue to index to annex prices of petroleum products, various petroleum products, to other parts of the world? Why can't we make our refineries work?
Deregulation, is that where you're going?
And I think that is the first challenge before NNPC, before other regulatory authorities in oil and gas industry in Nigeria today. Whatever name or alias we call it, turnaround maintenance or whatever, our refineries should work. We shouldn't derive the price of our petroleum products from our reliance on other parts of the world. So let's make our refineries work. Then we know that we are spending naira. We have the raw material. We process. We determine the price of these products. That is not happening today. So we continue to look up to other parts of the world for the price of a basic necessity like oil, like petroleum products. It's worrisome. So that is where we need major paradigm shift. Let's have a framework that will place much reliance on refined products, locally refined products, petroleum products, and will not continue to rely on other countries for supply of a basic necessity like oil products. So whether we are saying it's 125 naira, or we are saying it's 130 naira, or we are saying it's 120 naira, the major issue there is that reliance on foreign countries, on foreign refiners. It's, I mean, 60 years after independence, and 50 years after commercial discovery of oil in commercial quantity in Nigeria, we shouldn't rely on other countries.
I might feel as for my producer saying we could have live feeds from the exchange, but when that comes up, we'll link up and bring you up to speed with what is. Oh, okay, we have feeds from the exchange. The Senate Chairman, Committee on Capital Market.
Coronavirus, now with this COVID-19, you see what is happening. So now it is important that all the other sectors should be developed, should be encouraged. And I've said that they should sensitize the real sector more so that it will be a participatory development. It's not just enough for our economy to be doing well. People must be part of that development. And that is what can take us off all these social vices that we have. When people wake up, they have nothing doing. So what do you think will happen? We need to ask ourselves, yes, Nigeria is doing well. How much of it is coming from the real sector? As we speak today, you know, our revenue is almost maybe 85–90% dependent on oil before now. And that's why I'm happy with this, our budget. We are not where we should be, but it's different now. Our focus now is on agribusiness and all of those areas that hitherto has been neglected. So I think, yes, we are badly hit, but we will get out of it. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Sorry. Yeah, live pictures there. You just saw Senator Ibikunle Amosun, Chairman, Senate Committee on Capital Market. They're speaking on issues concerning the market and talking about what is expected from the rail sector to help kickstart or to make this economy where it is supposed to be. Prof is still in the studio breaking it down as usual. Now, Prof, we move from the fuel angle to the issue of industrial sector. I've been discussing all around with analysts, and they're saying that we import most of what we consume in this part of the world. And that is one major problem at this very time. We talk of forex issues here. We talk of trade issues here. We talk of reserves here. We can go on and on and on looking at all the effects this we have on all this lineup. Moving on in 2020, what do we really see playing out? It's becoming a little scary. What kind of, a report said yesterday that it looks bleak. I don't know how it comes to you, Prof.
That's putting it mildly.
Wow.
That is scary. It's a quite, it's a fearful moment. Very, very fearful. You see, the industrial sector will be quite prepared to improve performance, to produce more when there is demand for that product. Now we are in a situation where our interactions and interrelationships, even as individuals, we are canvassing against that. Imagine, how will you encourage social distancing in Oshodi market? How will that work out and play out in my 12 in Oyibo market? And these are the hubs in Obalende, in Idumota. These are the hubs of some of these industrial products. So when there is no demand, when aggregate demand falls, productive capacity will suffer it, definitely. And that is the kind of vicious cycle that we are compared to face now. So we need to address from the side of the COVID-19, what do we do as a people to be more proactive? What do we do to stem the tide as a country now? Globally, most countries are taking certain steps. We just hope, because like somebody was saying, that if COVID-19 lasts for the next 4 to 8 weeks, price of oil may drop to $15. So what will be the impact of that on the industrial sector?
Pegging at $30 at the moment, 25% reduction in recurrent expenditure, 20% in capital, 1.5 trillion off the entire budget itself. What effect do you see this?
We are still being hopeful. The Minister of Finance was saying worst case scenario. I don't think that is correct. We just pray. We remain prayerful that this will be the worst case scenario. What will be the scenario if price of oil drops to $15, as somebody predicted yesterday? It will have a lot of impact on industrial capacity. Already, our industries all over there, they are getting short of basic raw materials because some of these things come from China. And some of them that come from Europe, Japan, Italy, and so on and so forth. We are also seeing the problem that is emanating from that side of the world. So at the end of the day, we have an industrial sector that is unable to produce because they cannot access basic raw materials. We have a populace that cannot even make demand because of the restrictions that we witness. Then we have an economy that is also undergoing a lot of stress because of extra funding required to take care of some medical needs, to prepare to tackle some of the current challenges. So that's why I say it's more of a vicious cycle. We can only pray for a break in that cycle. It is as tough, it is as difficult, it is as challenging as that at the moment.
Let's almost round up with issues around government debt service, which is something that is also very important, that is budgeted for. And we know what we've been talking about, budget ratio, the ratio of budget to GDP. There's been the argument, if we've not gotten to the threshold, we've got the threshold. The argument has been on for some time. And the issue of revenue still comes in all of this. Where do you see, how do you see government servicing this also as the year moves on?
You know, for about a year, we lost or we suffered a reduction in our foreign exchange reserves.
Yes.
By almost $10 billion. The issue is, among the Committee of Nations, a country is declared as technically insolvent if that country is unable to provide for at least minimum of 6 months, import bills.
Yes.
And that is measured by the by the value of foreign exchange reserves. So with the price of oil as it is now, we pray we won't slide into that. Now, talking about debt service, there we've always said it's not bad for any country to borrow. America is indebted, UK is indebted. It's what you do with that foreign loan. What happens to it? Can it pay itself back? Can it generate the required multiplier effects to galvanize, to stimulate the economy? So these are the issues. As it is now, we know that most of the foreign loans are project tied, but the projects themselves are of long gestation period. So we need some buffer to be able to service the debt until we start reaping the benefits. So that is where the issue of the oil price and the oil revenue comes in. And locally, we still have a lot of disequilibrating factors. Inflation is above 12% now. Bank deposit rates, treasury bill rate, hovering around 3–4%. So which means an average depositor is suffering about 8% loss in terms of real interest rate. So these are some of the issues. These are some of the dislocations that we still have in the economy as a whole. So if we put every issue in a basket and we look at how do we resolve all these conflicts and contradictions, how do we nip all of them so that we chart a course that will not be conflicting with our overall objective as a country, as a people. There lies the challenge before the economic, the national economic team and all other agencies of government saddled with the responsibility of planning for the economy,
Professor,
of implementing the various budgets and the various policies that we have before us. So it's a big challenge. It's a very trying moment.
We're going to continue this discussion, Prof. I know Professor of Economics at Babcock University there, Professor Segun Ajibola, immediate past president of CBN, giving insights into expectations and all about COVID-19 and how it affects the Nigerian economy. Thank you, Prof, for your time on the show. It's always nice having you here on the show.